Hi, picking up where we left off, here's part two. What we're going to do is take this CSV file that we created in the first video, stored in our data folder, and we're going to use the latitude and longitude fields to actually read it into ArcMap and convert it to a file format that can be used to do analysis. So what I'm going to do, I like to do the work when I'm on a Windows machine working with this, is I like to grab this blue bar right here for the ARC catalog, hold it against the left hand side till I see a blue field, and I can actually dock it to the left. This is really nice because it allows me to click and drag back and forth, and I can launch ArcMap from here. So right here on the toolbar underneath the word customize is the ArcMap tool. I can launch it right here from our catalog. Or I can actually come down here to the Microsoft button again, go to All Programs, the ArcGIS folder, and launch ArcMap from here. So right here I'm going to click and I'm going to launch ArcMap. This now Arc Catalog is the file management system. ArcMap is how you can actually look at your information and do some analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this against the right hand of the screen, and now I've got kind of like two panels that I'm working with. Not as important during this step, but I like to set it up and get people used to working with ArcMap this way. So to read this CSV file in, I'm going to come over here first to ArcMap and click on File. I'm going to go to Add Data. I'm going to add XY data. So this is how you can actually read in information that's contained in a table that has lat long. Notice it says XY. So what we're pulling in here is our latitude and longitude data. Really, you should say it the other way around, longitude and latitude. The X is actually longitude, the Y is latitude, but we always say lat long. Click on that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to browse for that file over here. In the drop down here, you can see your folder connections that we set up in our catalog. That's why I start there and I do this so I can actually, again, manage my data a little more effectively. Find my demo data folder in my folder connections. Double click into data, and there's my CSV file. Click on it, click add. Because we have clean and tidy headings on our fields in our data set, it automatically is finding the longitude and latitude, which is nice. Click OK. This is an error or a message. It's not an error message, but a message that will come up from ArcMap warning you that you're about to add a temporary file that's not necessarily in the accepted spatial format for Esri. It's OK. You should expect to see that. Click OK. Here's our data. You can see a rough outline of continental United States, some of Canada, Alaska, where your weather stations are located. I'm going to slide this over a little bit so you can see it. This file is now called the CSV.events. It's considered a temporary file. The software is temporarily showing you this information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert it to a more permanent file format that we can work with a little bit more ease in the software. I'm going to right click right here in the table of contents of this information. So ArcMap is set up so that the map information is always to the right. Your layers of information are always here to the left. I could turn these layers on and off. It's not destructive. It just hides them. And that's how every GIS piece of software usually works. You've got a map to the right, your information to the left. So what I'm going to do is right click on the layer. We call them layers of information, because we can have up to as many hundreds of layers of information here. I'm going to right click on that, go down to data, and I'm going to export this data. So what it's going to actually do when I say export, it's going to convert it to a more permanent file format and away from this temporary file format called CSV.events. So right click, data, export data. So what I'm going to do is, you'll see you want to use this layer source data. That's fine. We're going to do all features. Click on the folder here. I'm going to browse to our data folder over here in our catalog. Again, I'm going to go to my folder connections, go to my demo data, and then this is my geodatabase we created in the first video. one thing to note about the software is it's not really designed by computer scientists. Usually a lot of geographers have their hand in designing the software. So sometimes it's not clear you should click on something. This should definitely be clicked on. It's another way, it's another folder. It's a weird kind of symbol for a folder, but it's a folder. So double click on that folder, and now you're inside the geodatabase right here. Make sure it says File and Personal Geodata Feature Classes, that we're making a feature class here. You can work with shapefiles if you want. I don't recommend doing it any longer. The shapefile is becoming an outmoded form of spatial data, at least in the Esri software, ArcGIS. So I'm going to click on File and Personal Geodatabase Feature Classes, and I'm going to change this name here to January Demo Data. Click Save. I'm going to come back to Export Data, click OK. Sure, it's going to ask us to add it. Let's add it, take a look at it. You can see that the data now loses the CSV.events. It's no longer a temporary data set. It's going to be a more permanent data set we can work with. It's just got a different color to it. See, this is what multiple layers of information looks like. These happen to be one on top of another, but you can have other layers of information like stream networks. We could have topographic information underneath these points, however you want to work with it. I want to point your attention to something. As I'm moving my mouse over this, you'll see down here at the bottom, you see the coordinates changing, and it's in decimal degrees. By default, the software, when it's first working with information and it's not sure what to do with it, it's going to default to decimal degrees. Okay, and it gets a bit confusing for people who work with the software the first time. They want to immediately, once they've got their data set up, start dragging other pieces of information in. That can get real confusing really quickly, only because this data is not properly projected, and that's what we're going to do in the next step. So once we've got this set up, we've got our data permanent, more permanent data set, we can actually close ArcMap. We don't want to save this. This is just a conversion for us. Click No. And we can close ArcMap, and I'm going to maximize our catalog. I'm going to come over here to our catalog. You see here's my data folder, and here's my January Demo Data Geodatabase. You see there's nothing in it. What you have to do with the software from time to time is right-click on folders and refresh them. You can see now I have a plus sign, and now I can see my January Demo Data. You can see it here. So now we've actually created that data set. It's more permanent. And the next step, what we're going to do, and I'll take a pause right here, the next step we're going to do is we're going to actually project this data. And that's a two-step process, and I'll do that in the next video.